Okay, new sim racing hardware on the market, or on the market very soon, essentially. This is Revosim. I'm here with Sebastian. You're head of racing at Nacon. You've been responsible for the WRC games in the past, Test Drive Limited Crown, publishing Rennsport now, Endurance Motorsport Series. But let's talk hardware, because I'm really interested to see what you're bringing to the market with Revosim. Tell us about it. Why are you doing it anyway? Why are you coming into this crazy world of hardware? You're so good at software. What's with the hardware now?
Yeah, so the idea is that we've been working on racing games for more than 10 years now. We've been working on gaming accessories for 30 years, maybe, at Nacon and Big Ben before. And at some point we say, okay, we do racing games, we do gaming accessories.
Like controllers,
controllers, headsets and everything. And we say that there is something missing in the middle, so we need accessories to play our racing games. So we said, okay, let's investigate the direct drive market and everything. And we said, we might do something, and the product is there. So we created a new brand, Revosim, and we are now delivering the first product. So 9 Newton meters direct drive that we'll talk about.
So we've got the 9 Newton meters direct drive, the pedals and the rim. I understand in the UK maybe about 699 to market, obviously different territories. Was the price point really important to hit that price point? And then does that determine the Newton meters? Or or do you think Newton meters first and then price point?
No, the thing is that we the objective that we have is the value for money at the end. So we wanted to have something, let's say, serious. So 9 Newton meters. We think that it's the good average for sim racers, for beginners, for it's like the perfect mix, let's say. But we wanted to have something strong quality, let's say, at a very good price point.
Yeah.
So 9 Newton meters direct drive base, pedal sets is 2 pedals but fully metal. The steering wheel is with aluminium quick release, fully customizable. Also for the base, the clamp. The desk clamp is included in the box. So it's a metal one. Sometimes you
just fold straight into there and then clamp.
Or you just put it on the table up to 7 centimeters. So it's also included in the and the last piece of the ecosystem, let's say, for now, is the application that we have. So it's a mobile application, so Android and iOS. Where you can set up everything for your wheel, the presets that you can get for each game, but that you can also send to your friends or download from the internet or receive from your friends. So we'll have a library available with presets for every game.
Is that why you've got the holder here?
Yes, exactly. That's why I was mentioning the application, because we also supply the phone holder that we have included here. It's included in the box as well. So it's not, as I said, the desktop mount and the smartphone holder are included in the box, yes.
Okay, let's talk specifics then, because it's in the marketplace, 699. I think it's competitive 9 Newton meters. Obviously, a lot of people are using Logitech, Thrustmaster, Fanatec, all the Far Eastern ones. Personally, I see some interesting cues here and some areas where I don't think you've compromised, where you've tried to maintain the quality. But let's talk about this quick release. Looks like an NRG style.
It's the same kind of quick release that you can find on the market. It's very secure and easy to use, let's say. A little bit like what you find on like brands like Moza, for example.
But your connector is different, right?
It's our own connector. So it's here, and just as a quick release with one hand. It's not one you need to do like exactly.
that.
And same when you want to remove it, one hand. Very easy to use. So,
It's interesting you've gone for the NRG, because I think that does rank highly as opposed to, say, the Thrustmaster has a clamp. The Fanatec has the QR2 lights, but the NRG seems to go up or support higher.
It's also inspired by what you find in real race cars at the end. So that's also the where the idea comes from as well.
So let's talk about real race cars. This, to me, I see at the top here it says Mono, but if I put it there, this looks to me like inspired by kind of real race cars in terms of the form factor.
Exactly. So this one is the first 3D print that we have. So it's just to let's say check the ergonomics of the projects. So we do 3D prints like that, so we can make adjustments and everything. And then the next step is creating a prototype like that. So the material like here is not the final one, but it's just to realize that is it good size, is it good fitting, the ergonomics is good or not. For example, for that one, which is a 28 centimeters, we realized that you don't have enough space for the shifters. So we decided to go like 30 centimeters. So when we will release it, it will be 30 centimeters. But it's the process of like creating,
so we can see how it goes.
Designing with because the products are designed in house. So we go through 3D prints and then prototypes, and then we make everything evolve.
And I can see there's a little, I don't know if it's going to be final, but a little design queue here with Revosim. I haven't seen that before. Is that a little flourished, or is that going to be in the final thing?
Yeah, it will be on the final thing, maybe not with that finish, but that's something we will integrate because we wanted to have like something, let's say, new and stylish. And it was an idea of one of our designers. So when I saw that, I say, it looks good.
Yeah, and therefore going for the hub system as well.
Exactly.
Right? So if I try and take this off.
Yep.
So this is the hub. This is the hub, and then will it?
You have the 6 screws here in the middle. So you just remove the 6 screws in the middle. You remove the rim. You replace the rim by that one, and you put back the 6 screws. Done.
Easy.
And the customer only have to buy this.
Yeah.
Which will be definitely less expensive than buying this.
Yeah.
Because you don't have like all the aluminum parts, you don't have the electronic parts and everything. So the idea is to propose something affordable for the user. So
do you have a very rough pricing idea?
It will be less than 100.
Oh, okay. So it's like an add-on that you
exactly.
Like a new
we see that as an add-on, so you can see it's in the add-on category. So that we have here.
But when people buy the wheel, will they buy in the bundle? It'll probably be the more, because this is more multi-purpose, I suspect, right? Okay.
So it will be that one which will be delivered because we think it's more universal, let's say, to start. And then they will be able to buy add-ons.
And small point, will it come pre-assembled, or will it come, you will bolt it together yourself?
It will come like bolted already.
So that's an interesting point, because some brands don't do that.
Yep. Okay.
And I think if this is your first wheel, that's still intimidating off the bat when you open it.
That's what we also want to avoid with Revosim, because you say the right word. Sometimes sim racing feels intimidating, and what we want to do with Revosim is to make it more accessible. In terms of price, we talked about the price, which is a little bit more accessible compared to what we see on the market, but also with that kind of detail. So it comes already mounted. In the communication, I talked about the presets. Presets make your life easier when you are not like a pure sim racer. You don't want to spend like 2 hours setting up your steering wheel when you buy a new game. So you go on the library, you check the presets, you download 1 or 2, you try, and you're done. So we try to make it more accessible.
So the app is going to be very important.
Yeah, it's part of the ecosystem for us.
Okay. And just finally on the wheel, before we go on to other areas, so you got a rev bar here.
Yep.
And I think some illumination here as well.
For the profiles.
For the profile, so it lets you know what profile.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
So profile 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. And interesting, you've gone for the ridged buttons, which is from Real World Motorsport. But I don't see a lot of brands at the more accessible pricing always doing that, which is interesting.
Inspiration is coming from Real World. As I said, also for the quick release, for example. So the designers are working a lot and like benchmarking a lot, like real race cars.
Yeah. Because you don't want to have to be reaching here.
Yeah,
you want to be reaching.
Everything is close to your fingers.
And we've got a funky switch here and a dial here. With lots of positions on it.
How many? 24, I think.
Not just the usual 12.
I think it's 24.
So it's very precise.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. Interesting. And then that home thing. And then the shifters, I can see you've got, are these magnetic shifters?
No, they are not. It's like magnetic filling, but they are not magnetic.
So you've got aluminium
shifters, yes. Okay. Exactly.
So this is the base kind of hub, but this is a sort of an ecosystem I imagine you want to do, right?
Yeah.
Doing all kinds of stuff. Okay, that's really interesting to see some premium aspects.
And it's just details, but it also comes with a lot of keycaps like that, because you can remove the keycaps. I don't have nails, so you can remove all the keycaps and change and do the layout you want. So you have colored keycaps, you have black keycaps, you have stickers that you can use also to customize the keycaps, and it's just easy to.
So everyone's wheel is going to look different.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably 10 million combinations or something. Yeah, you work it out. Okay,
we didn't make the math, but I think it will be something like that.
Okay, I'm really interested to get onto the pedals. I might try and pick them up, that'll be heavy. Because I see a lot of the time the compromise, like we talked about, you have to compromise at this price, for example, magnetic shifters, but I see a lot of brands compromise on pedals. These are a very different housing at the back I see on the market, and they look very sturdy. It looks like you haven't compromised here, or you've done something different. What's the philosophy with the pedals?
Again, for the first product of the brand, we want to show what the quality of what we can achieve. So full metal pedal set with the possibility to adjust the angle on each pedal. The course also of the pedal, the position of the plate here you can adjust as well. And
quite a lot of adjustability on the plate there.
Exactly. Modularity, adjustability, customization are really the keywords of the ecosystem that we are building. And also it's the case for the elastomers, because here you have the 3 blue elastomers which are the soft ones. But you have the medium ones, the yellow, and the hard ones, the
so you can
the
customize
red.
all of them again.
It's just a question of fitting, because at the end it's a load cell sensor that you have.
Oh, it is
here.
a load cell.
It's a load cell,
No
compromise.
No compromise.
No compromise. So it's a 100 kilo load cell sensor that we have here, with the 9 elastomers that we
That's very
supply.
Because some people like to have a hard stop. Some people don't like the squishiness at the beginning.
Exactly.
And then the mounting, we've got kind of carpet ready here. And then
also for small protection here for the wall. If you play on desk and you have a wall, then it protects a little bit the wall.
Nice thinking there, because some brands may say aesthetically that's not as nice, but practically we know when it goes. You don't care.
Sure.
And how are we mounting this to a rig? What are we doing on the mounting here?
So it's the holes that you have here that you use for the back, and for the front you use those here.
So we're going to the front. So now, and I've been using this on the rig
with spacers that are included also.
So it doesn't. It's not loose.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, these look, I mean, we see a lot of brands now going for this style, like Thrustmaster with their race line, Moser with their SRP, that they're quite, I don't say fragile's not the right word, but they're not substantial at the back. They're not kind of, but here you've gone for a really substantial kind of bit. So
that's again, as I said, arriving on the market and being considered serious. We need something strong, because it's also Nikon, behind. So if we don't do things properly on that, also Nikon products, we have that premium vision, let's say, of the accessories that we do.
French design as well?
French design,
just like my Peugeot. RCZ though.
French design.
But they, in all seriousness, I think they are very competitive, actually.
That's the target.
Let's go on to the wheelbase. So 9 Newton meters. I see if anyone has a Fanatec wheelbase at home, they're going to feel comfortable with this. And we see but we have the NRG style quick release, which is so interesting. We got the compatibility about USB-C, I see, to the PC.
The Bluetooth connection for the application.
Is that a pairing button then? Okay, so you dedicated a pairing button just to not make it a pain. Okay.
Exactly.
And then we've got a start-stop and the PSU. Okay, so that's quite simple to use at the back. In terms of the form factor of the design, why choose this form factor? Because you can do so many different types.
For many reasons. First is for the heat dissipation. As you can see, there are holes everywhere for the heat dissipation, just to avoid overheating while playing. And second is that this design also gives you the possibility to adapt to every kind of rig.
To mount it.
Side so from bottom or sides. Even on the top for the phone holder, you can use the T-nuts. Here in there to adjust the phone holder. So it's the more practical design, and also, as I said, for the heat dissipation, it helps for the passive heat dissipation as well.
Can I ask you a really stupid question?
There is no stupid question.
There is. There is. You know when you're mounting this using T-slot, and you've got your tray. Let's say this is your tray, and this is your T-slot. How do you get it in exactly and screw in through the bottom without using the force?
That's true. That you need to find that. Yeah.
So that's the invention we're waiting for, magnets or something.
Exactly.
But if you're wondering,
or if you want, you can use
the clamp
base, and then you attach that.
Yeah.
And here you have access to the holes on the sides.
Oh, so you could do like that easily.
You can do like that,
and then onto your base.
And then you use that.
Okay.
To screw.
I would do that.
Yeah.
Because
modularity.
Yeah, there's some kind of with some of the Thrustmaster T818 like is some kind of wizardry I'm not good enough to work out. So that's really interesting. You've gone for this design that.
And even if you use that part just to use it on your rig, you can even use the angle adjustment as well
to slightly get the wheel up a little bit.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm seeing lots of. I think people might think, oh, okay, Nacon are getting into hardware. Maybe they just want to do some hardware. But I'm seeing a lot of actual thought here that people will see in the video that's gone into it. Like, it seems like there have been some interesting meetings where I guess you or people in your team have said, we want to do this because sim racers are going to appreciate it.
Yep.
And it might be extra cost in the thing, but you say we need to do this.
Exactly.
I imagine.
The idea is that we worked on WRC, for example, for many years. We had that esports WRC championship running, and we were in direct contact with like strong and serious sim racers. Every time on events, people were complaining about this, and but at the end, it's just like a learning process. And after a few years of getting IDs and everything, we said, okay, maybe there is something to do.
Yeah.
And with that background that we have on games at the end, it also helps to build something very strong on the hardware part.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of interesting cues here, like you're saying, that must have come from this feedback. We've got some more products at the back, even more products.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Handbrake, shifter, and is that a clutch or?
Yeah, it's a clutch.
Okay.
So all these things that we already talked about are available.
For pre-order.
Pre-order, but end of May it's the release.
Oh, okay.
So let's say it's available.
By the time this video goes up.
Yeah, exactly. So and then we have we think about the ecosystem. The idea is not delivering the ecosystem in 3 years, let's say. So first part of the ecosystem, so all these things will be ready by the end of the year.
Okay.
So first piece of the ecosystem of the add-ons is the handbrake. Handbrake here is the same, so it's a prototype that I have here, but just to show you, load cell again.
Load cell there.
Load cell, 150 kilograms.
Okay.
With the
it's a big half.
with the possibility to adjust also the spring, because we'll have that spring, but we'll have elastomers as well. So 2 elastomers, 1 spring that you can
depending
use.
on which type of car feel.
Yeah, exactly. And when you put it back here, just put it correctly,
so it's toolless.
Like that. It's tool-free.
Tool-free.
Yeah, exactly. So it's magnetic.
Okay.
The position of the handbrake, you can use it like this. But if you change the angle here, you can use it like in a normal car.
Like in Test Drive Unlimited.
Exactly.
Okay.
You can use it like that. But if you use let's say an aluminum chassis, you can also attach it like this.
Yeah.
Reverse the angle here.
Oh, and have it
get
like
it
that.
here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So again, that little bit there,
Yep.
is lots of adjustability has gone into that.
Exactly. Modularity, adjustability. Same here. We also supply the clamp. If you are playing on a desk,
that's really nice.
then you have the
That's
clamp,
incredible.
which is included. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And we will see, but it's the same also for the gearbox.
No, but that's so good.
Yeah. We try to think about everything.
That's genuinely, I love this kind of stuff because so many people are going to be on a pad. Yeah. Let's say you're playing Test Drive Unlimited, right? Solar Crown. So you're there, you're enjoying it, you're on the pad, and you really like the game, and you're in the cockpit and you just want to have a wheel, right? Now with this, I can see the mentality is, don't worry if you've just got a desk. We got you covered.
No problem.
We got you covered.
Everything is included.
Yeah.
You don't even need to buy this separately. It's included in the box.
Yeah.
So
it's not like, for example, I have a SimuCube 2 Pro.
yeah.
You cannot mount that to any rig out of the box.
Yep.
because it's front mounted.
Exactly.
But then at that level price,
Yeah.
you expected to also buy them out. But this is
Again, as I said at the beginning, the idea is to make it more accessible because it feels intimidating.
Yeah.
We want to remove those barriers
Yeah.
that you might have. So you don't need if you go with Revosim, you don't need a full chassis like a very expensive setup. You can play on your desktop.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really smart. You know what? It would be awesome to have something like that sometimes for a wheelbase. Well, if you do a very low Newton-meter wheelbase, to just like that, and then it's done like
exactly. But it's also the case with that. If it's attached to your base, then it works.
Yeah,
a bit the same.
but even this has bolts.
Yeah.
But that was something like that where you like.
Got it.
I think for a lot of people who even that is kind of a bit like of an off-putting thing to buy. It's really interesting that you're already thinking about design here.
Yeah.
I feel like we should go through the whole thing. So let's have a look at the.
Talking about the gearbox.
Yeah.
Here again, a modularity. So it means hybrid gearbox between H pattern or sequential version. Here you can adjust the stiffness of the gearbox. Here. Same Revosim design as you can see. What do we have is that we have the possibility to remove that one. And if you're using H pattern, then included in the box again.
And that's a standard thread as well, I think.
Yes, exactly. So you can do that.
Yeah.
Going H, and then you have 8 gears. So 7 plus the reverse with that one.
Oh,
that
the
you
actual
can,
proper like.
for the reverse.
You know, an interesting thing. I think a lot of brands who do this are really sim racing focused brands, and they envisage everyone who's buying their stuff is playing, I don't know, like iRacing or like Le Mans or whatever. They wouldn't even think about doing this because no car in those games has it. But if you're on Test Drive Unlimited or Forza Horizon or whatever, you're going to enjoy that and look in the rear view.
It will be an add-on.
Yeah.
And same here. So we use the same kind of clamp, but we
really like
we give 2 of them because it's larger.
Yeah.
So we give 2 of them in the box, and you can attach it also to your desk.
No, I think that's really smart. We'll do a video on like the top 10 sim racing inventions of the year, and I think that's going to be right up there. And then we've got the clutch.
And coming with the gearbox, then you need a clutch.
Yeah.
So the clutch pedal is same base as the other pedals. So with the possibility to adjust the angle, the springs that you can adjust, same adjustment on the plate, on the course, and you plug it to the brake pedal.
Yeah. Oh, so it goes into the brake.
Yeah. So it's just here.
Okay, got it.
Here.
So the brake is the box as well. Okay. Wow. Amazing. And slightly interesting design as well, like the way it goes underneath to leave all that space for the cable.
Yep.
Because a lot of brake pedals, you have to like really route the cable in a little hole.
Just here.
Yeah.
And then you plug it to the other pedal.
Yeah.
And just one cable going to the base.
Okay. So if I talk really honestly, so 699, we're talking like above a Thrustmaster T598, but we're getting a load cell, we're getting this high quality, we're talking cheaper than a Logitech G Pro, but it's cheaper, you've still got a load cell, you've got the nice quick release, and it's 9 Newton meters, which a lot of people are running at 75% or something higher, or 50%. So I feel like you've actually, people in the comments, you let us know, but in terms of the sweet spot for a lot of people.
And also with the ecosystem coming around, so if you want to upgrade your system later, then you can upgrade with the handbrake, with the gearbox, with whatever, and at some point we'll have different rims with different finish, like Alcantara stuff. We can imagine a lot of things.
People can technically, I don't know what you think of it, but people can 3D print or do their own.
Almost. And then you need, with 9 Newton meters, you need something quite strong.
Otherwise, it goes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's.
But that's what you get with the hub system. Is that people can do that kind of stuff, and people may extend it or stuff. You have, people love trucking games.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, and have all this. Just finally on the ecosystem, and it's incredible to see. Or is anything else that kind of like long term in the future that no hard answers, but would you think of doing a higher range one as well, like a 15 or something like that, or is that not part of the Revosim?
Let's say that the next chapter will be something more accessible.
So you actually go to
5 Newton meters.
Okay.
And then after we'll see where we can go. But the next chapter for 26 will be 5 Newton meters.
And do you have an idea for like you may do this in your marketing, whatever, but who your ideal customer is? Like, what are they playing? Like, are they really doing iRacing, or are they more likely to be doing like Test Drive Unlimited, or are they doing a bit of both? Or
yeah, they can do all kind of games.
Yeah.
We know that we'll have competitive players like sim racing. I think with the quality of the setup that we have, we can talk to those guys, sure. But with the price point that we will have, and especially for that kind of thing, we can also talk, to people like joining the sim racing world. Sometimes there are like people between 40 and 50, like dads. The children are leaving the house.
Yeah.
They have like a room
yeah.
available.
Yeah.
What should I do? So I
Yeah.
saw that big setup. I have a little bit of money. I saw that very interesting setup. I have a room available. Let's go.
Yeah.
So, and we can also talk to that kind of.
It's very
people.
interesting how the brand,
Yeah.
it's a new brand, Revosim, has this kind of stretchiness to it.
Yep.
So I've got two final questions. Give me great time. The first one is, second one's a bit more tricky. First one is, I would love to see, you spoke about esports, WRC. I'd love to see a championship against different manufacturers to prove your point. So like, Revosim are here, other brands are there, and you're using your equipment.
Yeah, that's
and then you're tweaking it. And a bit like, the Nikon are publishing Endurance Motorsport Series, kind of like Toyota will have a hypercar and they'll learn stuff for their car.
Yeah.
You may, in the esports, learn stuff, like little cool things. So anyway, I ask all the CEOs this question.
Yeah.
Would you love to do it and like have a little championship?
I think there is something interesting because also we might at some point be able to track the data from what people are using as like forces and stuff like that. So it's not something that we will do right now. But at some point with the application, we can understand also what people are doing with our products. Also with the profiles and everything.
Yeah.
And at some point we can, let's say, organize competitions with what people are using.
Got it. Yeah.
The door is open to everything.
But if you want to do a video, you know who to call.
Yeah.
And the second question, very last question, it's going to be a more difficult one, but I know everyone's going to want me to ask it, which is the obvious question: is console. Is that the dream? Is that the obvious thing? I know you may not be saying anything now specifically, but
it's let's focus first on the PC version.
Yeah.
But of course, you might know that at Nikon we do like a lot of controllers. We work already for controllers, headset, and everything with Sony, Microsoft. So, we have good relations with those guys. So. Let's wait maybe a few months, but let's focus.
So what I would say is,
let's focus on that.
If you want to see it, put it in the comments. Xbox and PlayStation will see it.
Yes,
Sebastian, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
I can't wait to catch up with you in the future and see how the ecosystem has developed because it's awesome.
Yeah, as soon as we'll have more, you'll be invited to check everything.
Very nice.